Did you know that once we pass the age of 60, our bodies begin to lose muscle at a surprising rate, even if we're still active? In fact, many older adults lose up to 15% of their muscle strength each decade after 60. But here's the part no one talks about. It doesn't have to be that way. Weak legs, wobbly steps, and slow movements are not a life sentence. They're a warning, and they can be reversed. If you found yourself struggling to get up from a chair, climbing stairs more slowly than you used to, or avoiding walks because your legs feel shaky, you're not alone. But you're also not powerless. This is your moment to fight back, gently, safely, and effectively. In this guide, I'll walk you through the only 5 exercises you truly need after 60 to protect your muscles, strengthen your legs, and reclaim your confidence. These are not extreme workouts. These are simple, smart movements based on years of real-life medical practice with people just like you. Because staying strong isn't about chasing youth. It's about protecting your independence and saying yes to life one step at a time. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. 1. Sit to stand, chair squats. Rebuild the power to rise. Did you know that one of the most powerful indicators of independence in older adults is the ability to rise from a chair without help? This simple movement, standing up, is something we often take for granted when we're younger. But after 60, especially after 70, our leg muscles naturally lose mass and strength due to a process called sarcopenia. This condition doesn't happen overnight. It's gradual, quiet, and unfortunately, it accelerates if we don't use those muscles regularly. I remember a patient of mine, Mr. Walter, 78 years old, who came into my clinic after a minor fall at home. He told me with a mix of pride and sadness, "I used to get up without thinking. Now I have to plan it like I'm climbing Mount Everest." Walter had always been independent, a former factory supervisor, a proud grandfather of 6. But in recent months, he'd started avoiding chairs without armrests, not because he didn't like them, but because he couldn't stand up from them on his own. When I introduced him to the sit to stand exercise, he was skeptical. "That's all?" he asked. "Just standing up and sitting down?" But after just 2 weeks of doing 10 reps a day, he looked me in the eye and said, "Doc, I stood up from the toilet today without pulling on the counter. First time in months. I felt like myself again." You see, the sit to stand movement doesn't just build muscle, it restores dignity. It strengthens the quadriceps, gluteal muscles, and core, helping you with everyday tasks, rising from bed, getting out of the car, or simply answering the door. What's more, this exercise also helps improve balance and circulation, both of which are critical to preventing falls, the leading cause of injury-related hospital visits among seniors in the United States. And here's the beauty of it. You don't need any equipment, just a sturdy chair and a little determination. Performing this exercise regularly, even just 2 sets of 10 reps per day, can slow muscle loss, improve joint mobility, and give you the physical confidence that so many older adults silently long for. Mr. Walter still sends me messages every now and then. "Just did my 20 today. Legs feel like they're waking up again." And I smile every time, because it's not just his legs waking up, it's his spirit too. So the next time you sit down, think of it as a training opportunity, because every sit to stand is a vote for your independence. And if this one small movement can bring back so much, imagine what can happen when we strengthen the very foundation of each step you take. Next up, how 2 movements a day can protect you from dangerous falls. starting right at your feet. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're with me. Now let's move on to point number 2. 2. Heel and toe raises. Keep your steps steady. For many older adults, walking across a room can feel like navigating a tightrope. It's not that the floor changed, it's that the sense of balance and the strength in the lower legs have quietly faded over time. You may not even notice it until that first near fall jolts you. That sudden moment when you reach for a wall or grab the edge of a table just to stay upright. In my years of practice, I've met countless patients in this exact situation. One of them, Mrs. Evelyn Carter, age 83, came to me after tripping over her own slippers. She didn't break anything, thankfully, but the fear stayed with her. She told me, almost whispering, "It's like my feet aren't listening to my brain anymore." What Evelyn described is more common than most people realize. As we age, proprioception, our body's ability to sense position and movement, declines. Combine that with weakening ankle muscles and slower nerve signals, and suddenly, each step becomes less stable. This is why ankle strength and foot mobility are critical, not just for walking, but for preventing falls, which are the leading cause of injury-related death in people over 65 in the United States. I introduced Evelyn to something simple, yet surprisingly effective: heel and toe raises. This exercise doesn't look like much from the outside, but from a medical standpoint, it's gold. It activates the calf muscles, shin muscles, tibialis anterior, and stabilizers around the ankles, which help keep your body upright during walking, turning, or reaching. These muscles are your first line of defense when your body is about to lose balance. Evelyn began doing heel and toe raises while holding onto her kitchen counter each morning, just 10 reps in each direction. Within 3 weeks, her confidence had changed, not just physically but emotionally. "I feel like my legs are mine again," she told me, this time with a steady voice. What's important to understand is that balance isn't something you only work on when it's already gone. You preserve it by maintaining muscle responsiveness in the feet and ankles. These small movements help reawaken the mind-body connection and improve circulation too, a major benefit for those managing diabetes or peripheral vascular disease, both common in older age. And here's something even more powerful. This exercise can be done anytime, anywhere, while waiting for your coffee to brew, brushing your teeth, or standing in line at the pharmacy. That's how sustainable it is. The truth is, many seniors fear the fall more than the injury itself. It represents a loss of control, of independence. But building strength from the ground up, literally, can restore that confidence step by step. Now that your feet are planted firmly beneath you, it's time to move upward, toward the hips and core, and bring rhythm back into your body with a simple movement that does more than just exercise your muscles. It reconnects you with something even deeper. Let me show you what marching in place can unlock, and why it matters more than you think. 3. Marching in place, rekindle your coordination. There's something quietly powerful about the rhythm of marching, one foot in front of the other, steady and deliberate. For older adults, especially those in their 70s and beyond, that rhythm can begin to slip away, replaced by shuffling, hesitation, or imbalance. But here's the truth I've learned over decades of caring for seniors. You can get that rhythm back. You just have to give your body the chance to remember. One of my patients, Mr. Harold Green, age 76, came to see me not long after he had stopped going to his weekly senior dance class, something he'd done with his late wife for years. "I just can't trust my legs anymore," he told me, looking away as if ashamed. He hadn't fallen, but he'd had a few close calls, those moments where the body wobbles and the heart skips. For him, The loss of coordination wasn't just physical, it was emotional. He felt like he was losing part of himself, the part that could move freely, confidently, with purpose. We started with something simple, marching in place, just lifting one knee at a time, slowly and steadily, while holding on to the back of a chair for balance. It might seem basic, but medically, it activates a wide network of critical muscle groups: hip flexors, abdominals, lower back muscles, and even shoulders. This movement mimics natural walking, but in a more controlled, safe way that allows the brain to re-engage with each motion. From a neurological standpoint, this exercise also sharpens coordination and gait memory, which often decline with age due to reduced neural firing speed and inactivity. Marching in place encourages the brain to reestablish those essential motor patterns, and over time, this improves walking efficiency, balance, and even cognitive sharpness. That's right. Studies now show that leg movement and coordination exercises can help maintain brain health by stimulating blood flow and activating parts of the brain tied to movement planning and memory. For Harold, the transformation was slow but steady. After 2 weeks of daily marching, just 30 seconds at a time, 2 to 3 times per day, he told me, I started moving to the beat again. He wasn't quite ready to return to the dance hall, but he was marching in his living room to old Sinatra records. And with that came a new energy in his voice, a lightness in his posture. There's an emotional lift that happens when your body and brain begin to move in sync again. It restores your sense of control, something many seniors quietly grieve as they age. That feeling of choosing your pace, your direction, your path, instead of fearing it might betray you. The beauty of marching in place is that it meets you where you are. You can go slow, hold on to something, or even sit down and lift your knees from a chair. The goal isn't to perform perfectly, it's to keep the connection alive between your mind and your movement. Now that you've reawakened that rhythm and rebuilt some trust in your own steps, it's time to shift focus upward to your upper body, where strength can empower not just function, but affection. Coming up next, how a wall can become your most powerful tool for restoring strength and reclaiming your ability to reach, carry, and hug freely again. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. Now let's keep going with point number 4. 4. Wall push-ups. Rekindle upper body strength. When people think about aging, they often worry about their legs giving out. But what many don't realize is how vital upper body strength becomes after 60. The ability to push yourself up from a bed, open a heavy door, carry groceries, or even hold a grandchild close depends on the muscles in your chest, shoulders, arms, and upper back. And when these begin to weaken, it's not just harder to move. It becomes harder to connect, both physically and emotionally, with the world around you. I'll never forget Mrs. Teresa Malloy, age 81, who came to my clinic not long ago. She lived alone, proud of her independence, but she confessed something that stuck with me. I can't open the peanut butter jar anymore, Doc, she said softly. I feel helpless, and it scares me. It wasn't just the jar. It was the feeling of losing control, of becoming dependent, that frightened her most. And this, I found, is a common quiet grief among older adults. What Teresa was experiencing was classic age-related upper body muscle loss, particularly in the pectoral and triceps muscles. It's medically known as sarcopenia, and while it's natural with aging, it can be dramatically slowed or reversed with the right type of resistance movement. And the simplest, most joint-friendly way to begin: wall push-ups. Wall push-ups may not look like much to an outsider, but for someone over 60, they are a gold standard. The movement targets the chest, shoulders, triceps, and core, while being gentle on the wrists and elbows, making it ideal for seniors with arthritis or shoulder stiffness. Unlike floor push-ups, wall push-ups keep the body upright and reduce strain on the spine, while still training the exact muscles needed for essential daily functions. When I showed Teresa how to do them, hands flat on the wall, body leaning forward slightly, elbows bending and pressing out again, she smiled at the simplicity. She started with 5 each morning and 5 before bed. After 2 weeks, she could do 10 in a row. By the end of the month, she called me and said, "Guess what? I opened that peanut butter jar all by myself." That moment wasn't just about strength, it was about dignity, about reclaiming a sense of power in a world that sometimes feels like it's slipping away. Wall push ups don't just build muscle, they rebuild confidence. They help you keep doing what matters most, reaching for a book, holding a coffee cup, hugging your spouse, or lifting a plate to set the table. From a medical standpoint, these exercises also help correct posture, which often becomes stooped with age due to muscle imbalances and weakening back muscles. Good posture isn't just about looking upright. It's crucial for lung capacity, digestion, and reducing neck pain, which are all common issues in aging adults. Best of all, wall push ups are accessible and safe. You don't need a gym or any equipment, just a wall, a quiet space where you remind yourself every day that your body can still serve you well. As Teresa learned, it's not about doing 50 reps or chasing youth. It's about building functional strength that supports your everyday life and the moments of love, care, and connection that come with it. Now, with the upper body reawakened, there's one last piece to complete the foundation: your knees. They carry your history, your weight, your steps, and they need care, not just courage. Let me show you the one seated move that can help restore your knees and unlock mobility you thought was gone for good. 5. Seated leg extensions. Bring life back to your knees. For many older adults, knee pain becomes a silent burden, not always enough to stop the day, but enough to change it. It starts with avoiding stairs, then giving up long walks, and eventually it's easier to just stay put. What's often misunderstood is that avoiding movement doesn't protect your knees, it weakens them. The truth is, motion is medicine, and the right kind of movement can restore what time has worn down. One of my patients, Mr. Joseph Franklin, 82 years old, came to me after nearly 6 months of barely leaving his house. "I used to walk to the diner every morning," he told me, "but now just getting to the mailbox feels like a chore." His knees ached constantly, especially when getting up or down. He feared falling, but what he feared more was losing the version of himself that still moved through life. What Joseph was dealing with was common: a combination of age-related joint stiffness, mild arthritis, and muscle atrophy in the quadriceps. This muscle group is essential for supporting the knee, but when it weakens, the knee takes on more pressure than it should. That leads to pain, instability, and even further degeneration. I introduced him to something simple but powerful: seated leg extensions. Done from a firm chair, this exercise gently isolates and strengthens the quadriceps without putting pressure on the knee joint itself. Joseph was skeptical at first. "Sitting doesn't feel like exercise," he joked, but he agreed to try. We started with 8 repetitions per leg, holding each extension for 3 seconds. After 2 weeks, Joseph could feel the difference. "It's not just the pain that's less," he told me. "It's like my knees are listening to me again." Seated leg extensions work because they build strength in a controlled way, ideal for older adults managing arthritis, recovering from injury, or just easing back into movement. They improve knee stability, circulation, and even help with swelling by activating nearby muscles that assist blood flow. There's also an emotional layer. Regaining control over your legs means regaining control over your life. Joseph started walking to his mailbox again, then to the corner store, and finally, after 2 months, back to the diner, not just for the pancakes, but for the feeling of being alive again. As we age, we must choose movement with intention, not just to stay active, but to stay connected to who we are. The right exercises don't just restore the body, they restore our story. Now that we've built a foundation of strength, balance, and freedom, it's time to ask a different kind of question. One that might surprise you. Which exercises should you actually avoid after 60? The answer might be what saves your joints and your independence. 6. Which exercises should you actually avoid after 60? After 60, moving your body with purpose becomes more important than ever, but so does moving wisely. Many older adults believe that any exercise is good exercise, but that's not always true. In fact, the wrong movements can do more harm than good, especially when joints are more vulnerable, balance is less stable, and recovery takes longer. I once had a patient, Linda Shaw, a vibrant 74-year-old, who had recently joined a fitness class that included high-impact aerobics. After 2 weeks, she began experiencing sharp knee pain and lower back stiffness. "I thought I was doing the right thing," she said, her voice tight with frustration, "but I ended up feeling worse than before." Linda's experience isn't uncommon. As we age, cartilage thins, bone density decreases, and our ligaments become less elastic. That means exercises that were safe in your 40s or 50s can become risky, especially those involving jumping, twisting, or heavy strain on the spine or knees. So which exercises should you actually avoid after 60? The top ones include high-impact jumping, like jumping jacks or jump squats. These jar the joints and can trigger knee or hip pain. Deep squats or lunges with added weights. They place excessive pressure on aging knees and hips, increasing the risk of strain or falls. Crunches and sit-ups. Often thought to strengthen the core, they can actually strain the lower back and neck when done improperly, especially in seniors with spinal issues. Behind the neck shoulder presses or lat pull-downs. These can stress the rotator cuff and cervical spine, both of which become more delicate with age. Running on hard surfaces. While walking is fantastic, running, especially on concrete, can wear down joints and increase injury risk. The key isn't to stop exercising, it's to exercise smarter. Movements that are gentle, joint-friendly, and supportive of balance, strength, and mobility are what allow the body to thrive after 60. And just as importantly, listening to your body, respecting its limits without giving up on its potential, is a kind of wisdom only years can teach. Exercise at this stage of life should feel empowering, not punishing. It should leave you with more energy, not less. The right approach doesn't just protect your health, it protects your freedom. So now that you know what to avoid, let's bring everything together. The strength you've built, the wisdom you've earned, and the life that still lies ahead. In the final words, let me share the most important message of all, what aging strong truly means, and why it's never too late to begin. This is not the end. It's the beginning of strength. If you've read this far, it means something inside you is still reaching for strength, for energy, for the freedom to live fully, and that matters more than you know. These 5 exercises, sit to stand, heel and toe raises, marching in place, wall push-ups, and seated leg extensions, may seem simple at first glance, but they are foundational movements specifically chosen for their ability to restore what time may have quietly taken: strength, stability, and self-confidence. I've seen it again and again in my practice. Seniors who thought they were too old to get stronger, people who had given up on their legs, or who lived with the quiet grief of needing help for basic tasks. But within weeks, sometimes days, they began to feel something shift, not just in their bodies, but in their spirit. Because movement, at its core, is more than physical, it's deeply human. Maybe for you, this journey isn't about lifting weights or running marathons. Maybe it's about getting off the couch without struggle, or walking confidently into church again. Maybe it's about standing tall in your kitchen while cooking for your family, or finally taking that trip you've been postponing. Whatever your reason, let it be your motivation. Aging may bring changes, but it does not have to bring surrender. You are still capable. You are still worthy. And your body, even now, still responds to movement, care, and consistency. The beauty of these 5 exercises is that they require no equipment, no gym, no complicated routine, just your will, just a little time each day, and just enough belief in yourself to begin. Start slow, stay consistent, be patient. Every rep is a reminder you are not done yet. If you feel overwhelmed, remember, you don't have to do it all at once. Pick one movement, just one. Do it today, then again tomorrow. You'll be amazed what that simple act can lead to over time. And if you know someone who needs this, a spouse, a neighbor, a friend who's starting to slow down, share it with them. We were never meant to grow stronger alone. Because this stage of life isn't about fading, it's about growing wiser, moving smarter, and living fuller. You've taken the first step. Now keep going. Your strength is still within you, waiting to be rediscovered. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.